Welcome, frog people, to Geek Salad's Retro Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And tonight, we show Season 2 of The Mandalorian, The Way, by discussing kind of in a spoiler-free nature, which is going to be really friggin' difficult to
I think we can do it.
What our thoughts were on the second season of The Mandalorian, which just wrapped last week on Disney Plus. Its finale is the highest rated episode of the show in its history, which essentially, I think, if I'm not mistaken, could very well mean it is the most watched thing ever on Disney Plus in its year and 1 month of existence.
Entirely possible. It also, I just realized, I just found this out today. The second season finale premiered exactly 5 years to the day of The Force Awakens.
Oh.
Force Awakens dropped on December 18th.
Yeah, you're right.
2015.
You're right. So, interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, season 2. Did you like this one better than season 1?
I did, actually. I think season 1 was a good was a good introduction to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they took a lot of the lessons that they learned from the season 1 and applied them to season 2 and make it much more of a cohesive story.
Yeah. This one definitely, like if you go back about 2 months ago when Mike, Todd, and I reviewed each and every episode of season 1, our biggest complaint is that there was some dead space in there. Not so much it wasn't bad, but it really stopped the entire season from having a cohesive storyline. In this one, there's an overlap that happens in each and every one of the episodes. They end an episode, and then you are immediately, like, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, carried into the next episode.
Right.
Which is nice. It adds a tighter sense of continuity.
Mm. What's also nice is that they actually they actually take the weakness of the season 1 was those standalone episodes and that kind of like the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And season 2 actually takes those season 1 episodes, those standalone ones, and pulls them into the storyline. So things that happens in those affect stuff that happens in the second season, which I really liked.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on that. I like that. There, like you said, there's stuff there that kind of would have been a standalone episode. Episode 2 would have totally been a standalone episode had it not been for that overlap.
Yeah. I would say probably season episode 2 of season 2 is probably the weakest one of the bunch, but even then, it's still a really good episode.
Go ahead and talk for a second. I'm trying to let people on our Twitter feed know we're talking about The Mandalorian right now.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, I mean, what was nice about episode 2 is that it actually had a bit of a horror vibe to it.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not the biggest horror guy around. So that kind of made it the weakest one for me, but I did still appreciate what they did with it. I believe that one was Rick Famuyiwa.
I believe so. I can actually tell you in just a second. I can pull up the IMDb and I can tell you who directed what for what episode. Interestingly enough, that Jon Favreau actually directed the very first episode of this season, because this was not something he had done the last season. He wasn't one of this season 1 directors.
Right, yeah.
In fact, out of them, I believe that Rick Famuyiwa, Bryce Dallas Howard. Did Dave Filoni actually direct an episode this season?
Yes, he did. He directed episode 5. Yeah, episode 5.
Okay.
Because it's got his favorite character.
Yeah, essentially one of his creations in there.
Yeah.
And to bring in film directors, people that have actually worked on well-known larger budget movies. Peyton Reed,
Yeah.
who directed the finale,
he also directed one other episode.
Actually, I wouldn't be shocked if it was episode 7, quite honestly.
Actually, I think he might have done episode 2. Actually,
I'm in there right now. So, all right. So, Peyton Reed directed episode 8. He directed episode 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm on here right now, and I'm trying to figure this out. So Favreau did 1, Peyton Reed did 2. The Heiress was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Right. Yeah.
Episode 3.
Episode 4.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yes.
Well, I don't think he's directed anything.
No, I think this might have been his first one, and I thought he did a great job too.
And Robert Rodriguez.
Yes, he did number 6.
Oh, Rick Famuyiwa directed episode 7.
Yes. Yeah.
So he did. Yeah. So he's definitely in there.
Yeah. So the only one that didn't bring back was Deborah Chow.
Deborah Chow and Taika Waititi.
Oh yeah, because Deborah Chow was kind of busy with something else.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm very excited for.
Very much so.
It's really tough for us to not talk spoilers in this, so there's going to be a lot of veiled stuff.
Yeah.
What do you feel worked to make season 2 better than season 1? We already kind of discussed the continuity. What else do we think it could be?
Well, I think one of the biggest bonuses for me was that season 1 was just kind of establishing who the Mandalorian and the child were,
right?
And what how their interaction they interact with various elements. Season 2 was more about establishing where they fit in with the larger Star Wars universe. As season 1, they would maybe make a vague reference to something in the bigger galaxy. In season 2, they actually interact with and fight with and alongside various well-known galactic characters.
Right. With this season, you're no longer dealing with tangential species and droid types that you were in season 1. As they talked about if you watch episode 8 of The Gallery, which season 2 starts on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Christmas Eve. As everything starts on Christmas Day this year, I'm not going to talk about anything.
It premieres on Friday?
Same day as Soul, yes.
That's Christmas Day.
Yeah, I know. I corrected myself.
Okay.
You missed me correcting myself.
Yes,
but on the last episode of season 1 of The Gallery, Dave Filoni essentially referred to the characters that they were using as the peg warmers. So essentially, these are the action figures that your big brother didn't want to play with anymore, and you got to play with. So you would see these characters that were essentially, they were Ugnaughts, or they were IG units, and they were that kind of
the troop transport.
Gonk droids. What's that?
The troop transport.
The troop transport. Yes, the troop transport. Yes. But what you see in this one are more defined by actual characters. A lot of characters are reintroduced into this, and I don't believe I am spoiling anything by mentioning some of the names of some of the characters, because they are. If you're watching this right now, God knows you're already caught up. And I'm just really trying to play it safe for the 1 or 2 of you that are just holding back and are just going to binge the whole thing on Christmas, because it's not like you could see anybody. So you've got characters like Bo-Katan. You've got Ahsoka Tano. I'm not going to tell you about the big one, because to me that was the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the high point of this season, outside of the finale, because that was a season finale done right, was episode 6, The Tragedy.
Episodes. That was a good one.
Because it was a reveal that I'd been waiting for years. The director they chose for that, Robert Rodriguez, was a phenomenal choice for it.
Yeah.
And the entire series of events just made sense.
Yeah. And I mean, like when you're saying like Robert Rodriguez was a good choice for that one, very good choice, because the action in that one was more visceral than I think I've ever seen in Star Wars before.
Episode 6 is the most violent episode of The Mandalorian I can recall.
Yeah, I mean the only other level of like brutality in a fight scene I've seen was the finale of season 1.
Yeah.
The Armorer.
Yeah. And even still, that wasn't that. I mean, there's a difference between, like, because I think we're desensitized to Star Wars violence because it's primarily laser blasts, and usually most of the people getting shot are these faceless dudes in stormtrooper masks. This time it's still faceless dudes in stormtrooper masks, but it's not laser blasts. It is actual full on, like, blunt force trauma, and it works. Now, if I have to bring up a negative about this, I kind of feel like this season made up for a lot of the fan service that I think was deliberately being withheld in season 1, and it has brought us full circle back to this discussion that we continue to have about they're only good because of the fan service and not because we have new ideas. And that drives me insane. And in the half a week since I watched episode 8 at the finale, I have been dragged into so many conversations that don't understand that The Mandalorian is a piece of a 30-year puzzle. There is 30 years in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So in that 30 years, you've got a lot of story you can tell, and you can weave that, and you can actually at some point plug that in and have everything in those sequels make sense. I really don't care if you like them or you don't like them. You know, you can go either way. You know, I've gone on record to say that if you discount A New Hope because A New Hope is just completely its own thing, Last Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars movie. Third, if you do include A New Hope. I think it's brilliant because it's a character piece. And this show, as much as I love this show, I think needs to, now that we've resolved some stuff, is we need to change the station, and we need to direct that train to tell another story that has nothing to do with what we will eventually get in the sequels. This is its own thing, and it needs to deviate into its own path.
What I kind of liked, like, you know, everybody's like, oh, there's so much fan service in this season. It's like, well, yeah, but the thing is, though, every single bit of fan service served the story.
Right. Oh, I absolutely agree with that. I mean,
Bo-Katan, it made sense to have her in there. The character we see in episode 5, it made sense to have her in there. The character we see in that shows up in episode 8, it made sense that they were there. I mean, it's not really fan service if it services the story.
I agree. I can agree with that. What I am just again, it all comes into the inevitable conversation and this inevitable comparison to the sequel trilogy. And God, folks, let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen, like, you know, it's one of those things, you see all the tiles on YouTube with all the clickbait. It's like they're just retconning the entire sequel trilogy because of The Mandalorian. They're, you know, it's all going to be erased. It's like, this isn't an alternate universe. It's not an alternate timeline. Rey is still Rey Skywalker at the end of that. Whether you like it or not, whatever happens to the Mandalorian, to Din at the end of his journey is not going to affect in one iota or change in one iota what happens to Rey Skywalker
Especially
at the end of the Rise of Skywalker.
Especially since that's 25 years in the future.
Mm.
There is, I mean, that's the thing is we're only talking like that the big old gap between episode 6 and episode 7. Here's that gap.
Yeah,
we're right here. Right here.
What do you think we're looking at in terms of timeline between seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian? I think you're looking at about a year.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really establish how much time, but there was enough time for Navarro to become a bit more civilized. So I would say between 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Well, it was also I can't remember the name of the planet on episode 4 of season 1 that he met Cara Dune in, but they were there. They were there for like 2 months.
Yeah, it was it begins with an S. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really enjoyed the season a lot. I really, again, I enjoyed the fan service. I enjoyed the fact that it's not so much fan service because everything there was there to move the story along, and now we can take that in another direction.
And I also like the fact that it took like some characters from the first season that were kind of one note and really fleshed them out.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
This is the episode to watch Bill Burr in. Bill Burr was phenomenal in episode 7.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Do you think it's, if I bring her up, do you think it's really a spoiler?
Which character? A little bit.
Okay.
But you already did.
Yeah, okay, I've already did. Fennec Shand does make, which it makes a lot of sense too. You don't have Ming-Na show up for 3 seconds in an episode, and that's it. She's dead.
Yeah, that was one disappointment from season 1 that I was like, oh, cool. It's not a disappointment anymore.
Yeah,
it served the bigger story.
Right. I mean, sure. The way they brought her back was kind of like, okay, that we're going with Dune revivals here, but it made sense, and there's this phenomenal piece where you have Cara and Fennec and Bo and Sasha Banks. I don't know what her character name is.
Ready's something.
You can't even look up. She's not even listed as Sasha Banks. She's actually going by her real name.
Oh yeah,
Mercedes.
Something.
I think it's Mercedes Mercado or something.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm just looking up the.
I got it. Oh, I will try to find this. No, not Passenger. Damn it. Turn us for more of these where we look at our.
Trying to look up the heiress, and it's just bringing up everything
Mercedes Kastner Vernado.
Okay.
And that is how she is actually. That's actually how she's billed in this, which is I find really interesting.
Yeah.
That she chose to go that route and not use her more popular name.
She plays Casca Reeves.
Casca Reeves, right?
Yeah. I like the fact that they're going with actors and actresses that you wouldn't normally think that they would go with, but they use them exactly how they should be using them. You got Sasha Banks, you got Gina Carano, and like they show elements of being able to act, but they're mainly there for action, and they do it really, really well.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. And it's really nice just to get a deeper look outside of what we've been, seeing within the Clone Wars and Rebels, which is where you move outside the world of the Jedi and you're actually just dealing with the scrappers and everybody who isn't familiar with the Jedi Order.
All right.
And it's really refreshing because, again, there are multiple things that we can discuss about Star Wars, and not every single one of them has to revolve around the Jedi Order.
Right. I mean, the Force does have an element in the episode, but that's because just the Force is a part of this galaxy.
Well, and we've already seen the child exhibit Force-like tendencies in season 1.
Right. I mean, you have people say, may the Force be with you. The hell, Din Djarin says it in an episode, and like he'd never even heard of the Jedi before. No, it's not. You're not actually wishing for someone that have the Force. It's just a saying around. It's like, God be with you, even if you don't believe in God. God bless you.
Right. God bless you too.
Yeah.
So I really like where the storytelling is going. Season 3 is going to be a very long wait. Fortunately, it looks like Disney Plus is finally starting to front load those wait times with stuff like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're getting WandaVision in like what, 4 weeks?
Something like that. It's in mid-January.
Yeah.
Falcon Winter Soldier is finally getting shown. We actually should have Loki sometime this year as well.
Yep.
I will say one thing though, with all of the all the trailers that they released, the one I think I was most pissed at was Andor, because it was nothing but hey, I'm on set and I'm training. Here's some stuff from Rogue One. I mean, I want to see this. I do want to see this. And the other one that's coming up a year from now, which if I say its name, it's spoiler, so I won't.
Dude, I was listening. Like, I have my smart speaker to tell me like different news headlines from various sources, and I listened to IGN's news headlines this morning.
Yeah,
and they just completely spoiled the ending of season 8 of episode 8.
Oh, I got the big reveal spoiled in my news feed on Friday morning.
Yeah,
I literally sat down, cup of coffee, pulled up my phone. I'm like, oh, what's? God damn it!
Yeah, I started going on Facebook, and then I saw like some people, like I saw Joe posting like, oh wow, that ending. And I'm like, okay, I'm off of Facebook until I can watch this episode.
Like, you have no idea how much interference I was trying to run for you. So until you had time to finish that episode.
Oh no, I saw we're on like a couple of text threads, and he was like, all right, who has seen this? Who has seen this? Mike? I was like, not yet.
Nope.
He's like, okay, nobody talk about this.
It's stiff arming spoilers left to right for you.
I appreciate that.
I literally watched it 3 times. The finale is a finale done right.
Yes, it completely finishes the story that they were telling, while still leaving it open for the continuation.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to season 3 and everything that happens with it. So yeah. I really applaud. I mean, I applaud everybody involved with this season. There was not a bad episode. There was not one episode. If I had to pick a worst episode, I think I'm with you. It's episode 2. And only because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't happen.
Yeah. It really is. That episode was about the journey, but we saw where the journey started, and we had to wait for the next episode to see where the journey ends.
Right. And it's just like it's a side stop.
It was the 2 towers.
Yeah, it pretty much was. It was the 2 towers. Almost literally, if you're really no, that was Return of the King. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was still a good episode, and quite honestly, what's interesting is it engendered a lot of conversation about the child's motives.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Let's say that the shine was taken off of that a little bit.
I feel like they use their guest cast very, very well throughout the season. I really still feel like Carl Weathers might be the best worst actor, with Horatio Sands like really coming really close in the entire thing. As much of a joy as he is to watch on screen, he just, God bless him. He's trying. You're trying, Carl. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it basically the Carl Weathers that you got in the finale of season 1, he's back with a vengeance.
Exactly. And he really is just Arrested Development Carl Weathers. It's just
But yeah, hey, at least he's directing himself this time.
right. Oh no, I really liked it. I'm looking forward to what comes next. I'm looking forward to the gallery because
Yes.
there was a lot of stuff that happened in this season that deserves its own behind the scenes episode, which I'm really psyched about.
Absolutely.
And now that the inevitable other conversation that's going to come up now that this is over is, well, do people just cancel their Disney Plus accounts? It's like,
Did you watch that? Did you see all the news that came out of that investment meeting?
I don't even think it's that right now, because a lot of that, and I'm one of those people that's like, if I don't see a trailer for it, like an actual trailer with footage from the show in there, I really can't get excited, because, I mean, if you want to bring up the DCEU, how many like just splash cards and title cards do we get that never do Flashpoint? I'm just going to point you at Flashpoint.
What's that?
Exactly. I mean, they've gotten further in trying to make Spider-Verse happen for the MCU Spider-Man than they have in Flashpoint, which is the same thing. Marvel's gonna beat them to it again, which is hilarious.
And not only is Marvel going to beat to it, but to make it worse, Sony Marvel is going to beat them to it.
Kick in the ass that is. From the studio that was trying to bring you Morbius.
Is that still happening?
It was filmed, Mike. It's just waiting. It honestly is waiting for a release.
Yeah.
I do feel though that with if Star Wars's future up until COVID is done, like done, is TV. They're doing a really good job. And I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and yes, Kathleen Kennedy are all doing a phenomenal job with this. They really are. And
if this is the future of Star Wars, I think it's in fine hands.
I agree. I would also say too that if you're looking to cancel your Disney Plus subscription because The Mandalorian's over, there is a lot of great original programming on Disney Plus. That I don't think anybody. Disney Plus actually might have some of the best documentaries about the art of filmmaking.
Oh yeah,
that are out there now.
Yeah.
And their docs on their parks and everything. It's the smartest money I think I spend on entertainment every month.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so cheap and it's just so much fun to watch.
They've got a lot of stuff on there that I didn't think I needed until I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I really want this now."
Yep.
Like they I told you about like Zenimation. I've mentioned that a couple of times. It's weird, but it's so cool. And they've got the Disney Parks Sunrise series, which is just an hour of showing the sunrise over the Magic Kingdom Castle, over the Spaceship Earth and Epcot, and over the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. Well,
and
even their Animal Kingdom documentary is fantastic. Yeah, I was Zenimation. I was really thrilled with Zenimation, especially because in my father-in-law's last weeks and months, we would put Zenimation on for him, and it was very calming for him to listen to the music and just look at the visuals, which was really nice. So yeah, there's a lot on Disney Plus, and you don't have to have kids, and you don't have to just wait for the Mandalorian. There's tons of stuff on there.
And we're not being paid by Disney Plus.
No.
I got this at a D23. I had to pay to get in.
Yeah, I pay for everything Disney. I mean Disney. If you want us, I will be Clifton Strengths approved or certified in a few months. So, but very excited about that. But yeah, that is our take on Mandalorian season 2. What were your thoughts on it? Leave a polite comment below. Do us a favor, please leave the sequels out of here, out of the conversation. We want to know just your thoughts on this season of The Mandalorian. Mainly, did it meet your expectations? Did you find it exceeded your expectations from season 1? That's really all we want to know. Also, don't forget, like us, subscribe to us, share this video, share the wealth with all your friends. Thank you for everybody who has subscribed to us in the last few weeks. We really do appreciate it. MILF Porn Dude in our comment section, thank you very much. You're giving me tons of entertainment on the offside there. And I don't know what else to call him. And so Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify. We are there. We also put our audio on here. And realistically, unless you live in one of 4 Middle Eastern countries or North Korea, for the most part, you will get our content. Yeah,
unless you live in Cuba, Iran, Syria, or North Korea, you can view our content.
Exactly. So enjoy that. So, yeah. And if you do live in any of those countries, you're not listening to this anyway. So
probably not.
Unless you're watching us right now, because we don't do anything with this. And then starting next year, Mike and I have decided that these reviews are actually going to get kind of sent also to our pod feed as kind of like a lo-fi podcast. So we're not going to have the same type of heroic production that we put into every single one of our podcasts, which means neither Mike or I are going to spend the breakneck month. 1 day for me, 3 days for you, I think it was.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we recorded on what?
We recorded on Tuesday last week,
and
it was up in the weekend.
Well, we recorded the night we had the storm.
Oh, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday night.
Yeah, so recorded Wednesday night, and I had it up by Sunday. That was a hell of an editing job.
Yeah, I know. Oh, tell me about it, because I did the music episode the week before that.
Oh yeah,
that was like, did it, done.
Yeah,
walking away from it. So our YouTube videos will be available probably next day or the day after on our podcast site. We'll make them a little more portable, safer for you to drive if you're driving anywhere. It also uses up less battery if you're listening to audio versus the video and audio that you have to keep open, unless you're paying for YouTube Premium with only this guy's doing.
I do not like those commercials.
Those ads. I understand that. I do
not like them like I am.
I just deal with them. I don't know why on my work computer I'm getting everything about the Georgia runoff right now, and it's hilarious because I'm getting an opposing political view from what I'm actually watching, and it's even better. It's like, dude, you got to know your audience. But yeah, whatever. We're going to be doing that. We have some new plans set up in 2021. And if I'm not mistaken, Mike, I think this might be our last episode of 2020.
Unless you want to try and squeeze something in next week.
There are no promises we're doing anything next week. I've got like one podcast commitment with movies after work. Maybe we can do something. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. I'm on vacation. I'm actually pretty flexible next week. I'm on vacation all week, so.
You know my work schedule. So.
That's true. And I haven't had a week off in between Christmas and New Year's, which I call Taint Week, since high school. So I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
So anyway, folks, until next time. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, which I know was last week, and I apologize. Happy Winter Solstice. Happy Winter Holidays. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth. Be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.